all the leaders, all the firefighters, they're all people.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to tonight's meeting. We thank you for coming out, braving the elements. Rain for a change is always great. Welcome. May we start the meeting with the Pledge of Allegiance. Thank you. Thank you. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. If I may, quick introductions again. David Haas, Ed Glover, June Butler, Frank Ruzizi, Ian Silverman, Sue. Yes, Sue. Go wait. Thanks, Sue. Thank you very much. Keith Hanko, DJ Goyer, Katie Powers. Thank you, one and all. Just a quick reminder, Saturday, Sue scheduled electronic recycling out here in the parking lot from 9 to 2 or 9 to 12?
3.
9 to 3, wow, okay. 9 to 3, the gentleman's gonna be here with various electronic items. Please bring them in if you have them. And then next week, we have brush pickup from 9:29 to 10:03. Just a couple of reminders. Thank you very much. Public comment session. If anyone cares to make a public comment regarding tonight, if they're gracious enough to come up to the podium. Okay, next item up, we have the town board minutes from 9/11/2025. Has everyone had a chance to review them?
I move that we accept the town board minutes.
David, thank you very much.
I'll second that.
Thank you very much, Frank. All those in favor of accepting the town board meetings from 9/11/2025? Anyone opposed? Anyone abstaining? It's accepted. Thank you very much. Okay, discussion items. Reason for the meeting tonight is the tentative 2025 budget. Okay, I'm sorry, the tentative 2026 budget.
Before we get into the budget, we were given a copy of budget versus actuals for the year. And I just went through this and had quite a few questions.
Just in a box, so I haven't.
All right, I just went through it just now. Would that be okay, Mr. Supervisor? Because we need this
Yes, sir, David,
in order
please.
to do this,
Yes, sir, David, please.
okay? Youth programs income. It's reported as actual of 58,540, but it was budgeted for 5,500. Why the discrepancy there?
The 5,500 is state aid.
But that was in the budget, was that correct?
That was a separate line entry in the budget on the 5,500. In the 2025 budget, 5,500 was what was listed in the
Youth program income,
total income of the state aid.
but it's 10 times that figure. So then how does that guide us for next year?
I made a mistake on that one. Understand that.
Well, it's in QuickBooks.
Yeah, tell me the number. What's the GL code?
1-3820.
Number 30.
What's that?
Number 30.
Oh, right there. Oh, yeah. I don't know anything, I don't know.
Okay, and
What
the
that
next
is.
line has 13,000 and change in interest on a $1,000 budget item.
highway interest.
I mean, it's good to be earning more money than we project, but that doesn't help us for planning next year. Should I keep going?
What about 2027 on this? Per capita state revenue share, I'm not sure what that is. Actual was 8,300 and budgeted was 37,000.
$37,000 is what we just brought in. I think I sent everybody a note on that we just received $37,181 from the state last week, I believe it was.
So it's just not adjusted, this is just at the time that this was put together, we didn't have that money yet.
I did enter that. Because it gets pulled straight from the bank.
Okay. Line 36, the budget is for 75,800 and it's reported as revenue of 2,000. Is it we just haven't received that state aid yet?
Which line are you on, Dave?
36.
36, Eric, 36.
Yeah, so that's our state aid through paving, and we haven't submitted for it yet, we just wrapped up.
Okay, is it the same thing for the next line, 37?
That'd be correct, yep.
Okay. And then also, okay, in line 40, the budget was 322,000 for the water district number 1 benefit unit charge, and we report here under 5,000.
Tom, this is what we just talked about. You said something happens at the end of the year?
That's the money that comes in throughout for the water. And
Benefit unit charge is what people are paying
And that's
for the water district,
So it should be like 3/4 if it's this time of year.
roughly, yeah. And it's $5,000.
Okay, so if that's the case, if that's the case, which I'm not doubting, when we get the water payments in, these revenues have never been recorded into QuickBooks until this year. So Sue, Lindsay, and I have been working to input each of those revenues. So never before has this revenue actually ever been entered into QuickBooks until now.
Yeah, but
So
before
right
the meeting
now-
started, you told me that you just put everything in up to date.
No, up until this year, any,
You said this was as of today.
it is. So if you go over to water, that's where it is. So it has to be broken back out.
Oh, so the water.
Yeah, so water,
Number 40, the revenue is recorded in a different section.
yeah, it is. It's all, so we're gonna have to go back in.
Where
and
is that?
Probably in the water section.
There's a water revenue section?
Water revenue, yep.
Where is that?
It'll be 3 dash. Oh, wait, no, that's expense. Oh, it'll be in the back.
Seems that this was all the revenue section in the beginning,
Yeah,
and the end was all the expenses.
well, water's a little funky.
I don't see any revenue
I don't
anywhere
either.
else.
Benefit, residential usage. It's number 42.
But that's not $322,000, that's $79,000.
Right.
And that's the usage, I assume
And that's from a budget
water.
of 123,000. So it's missing.
Well, that's the money that Sue and Lindsay work to get in from the water department from billing, and then I enter it in.
I'm not really
Yeah.
concerned about the process, I'm just saying it's not here. And we need information in order to do our budget, and this information does not appear to be accurate.
I mean, Sue, I mean, you're entering, you're getting all the bills and giving them to me and I'm entering them in. Well, you enter it in, you get to make the deposits, and then they give me a spreadsheet with all of the income, and then I input it.
So
So
what have we received in water district number one benefit unit charges so far this year?
that I don't know,
Okay,
because it's not broken out from benefit unit charge and the water payments.
I mean, the water payments look reasonable for 3/4 of the year, but I was gonna say that other 3/4 of the 300,000 should be someplace here.
What's the date? Is it like, it's up till the end of September? Is it up to the end of?
It's up till today.
Oh, it's okay.
Yep.
well, these are unresolved issues, and I'll keep going. 53 says residential services income, that we received $746, but we don't have anything in our budget for that. So nothing in the budgeted amount.
That wasn't in the budget.
Okay, and then 55, tax revenue, real property taxes, it was in the budget for 6,000 and change, and it's reported as 774,000.
Okay, David, okay, can we just go back to the water on the benefit unit charge?
Sure.
Okay, that money came in, we can. We received that money at the beginning of the year.
Does that come
We
with,
start,
does that come in with taxes?
yeah. And then we transferred that $300,000 over into water budget number one, and
It's just not on the bookkeeping system, obviously. Which makes it very difficult for us to do the planning. So,
So where's that supposed to go? This is news to me, so where is that 322 supposed to go? How should it be entered?
are you asking me?
Yeah, I don't know. This is news to me.
Well, what I'm seeing here is a budgeted amount of 322,117. But at this point of the year, which is roughly 3/4 of the year,
Mhm.
we should have over $200,000 in revenue from that if it's a continuous revenue evenly spread out during the year. However, if Tom says that some of this benefit unit charge comes in with taxes in January and February, then it should have been put into the bookkeeping system back then
Mhm.
and show the amount that we received for the benefit unit charge.
I agree.
But it's not showing up on this spreadsheet,
Yeah.
whatever this is. So if we're planning on budgeting $322,000 in income for 2026, how can we do that if we don't know what our actual revenue from the benefit unit charge was? We have no solid information here. I'm not done yet. Sorry about it, Tom.
Well, you
I
can
didn't
keep
say
going
anything
about
about it, David. I was-
real property
I was-
taxes.
You're gonna need to buy, practice it.
I guess so. Hey, I got paid today. I can afford breakfast. Well, I don't know, these days breakfast is pretty
That's pretty
expensive.
expensive, yeah.
I'll buy some eggs.
That's expensive.
Do you have any local people
Yes,
have
there are,
eggs?
you just have to
Anybody?
get there early in the morning. Can I just state one thing,
Please do.
I guess when I do this stuff, if I have a budget versus actual, if I, and I'm saying to Katie, first thing I would do is just, if it is today, don't put January, December, put January to date,
Okay,
so that everybody
Yeah.
reading it knows it's not a full year. Better yet, go to the last month that was reconciled. And then when something's printed like this, I'm just gonna say what Dave's looking, he's saying, okay, what looks right? You know, before it gets to a handout.
yeah, I talked to Tom about it, yep. I
But
talked,
I'm
yeah.
not
No, no,
putting it
that's
on you.
okay.
I'm
No,
putting
no.
it on, I'm just saying, it's, you know, the information, you know, it's clear when you look at it. There's some really issues with this that is easy to see, and it'd be better doing it, getting this done before it's publicly handed out. Yeah, just,
So they should call me in to grill them on it.
they should. I'm sure you'd go over and do it.
Yeah, I love it, actually.
On
That'd be really
line
helpful.
55,
That's what I'm saying.
real property taxes, we budgeted 6,000 and change, and we have $774,000 actual.
No, that's not right.
Well, I'm trying to
55,
budget.
that just doesn't make sense.
Okay, that 6,900 was what was put in, what was,
Was that in the 2025
that's in the
budget?
2025 budget, that's a number.
$6,000.
Now, where in the
Yeah.
2025 budget would that be?
Okay, on page 2 in the 2025 budget, okay, initial, we had the appropriation provision was, the amount was unless estimated revenue, and then we took out the unexpended balance, and that left $6,900.
Yeah, but we were projecting real property tax revenue, that's not $6,000 for the whole town.
6356, isn't it?
No, I mean, you're talking the whole town's tax revenue.
Right.
Where the 774,000 makes more sense,
And
but the budgeted amount here is only $6,000.
wouldn't the unexpended fund balance just be another source of revenue?
I have an easy question for you, Tom. On line 59, the mortgage tax revenue, it's budgeted for 85,000. So far, we received 44,000. Is more coming?
December.
December, thank you. Line 88, assessor 11 personal services, assessor clerk was budgeted for 17,000, but there's no expenditure. Do we not have anybody in that position?
We do have some in that position, we're in the process, working through GTM on getting the payroll information squared away. It's taking time to get it back into QuickBooks and get it done properly, and that's, some of the payrolls are not
Are missing.
reflective.
But some of the payroll things are missing.
Yes,
So do you have a general idea of how that relates to the budgeted amount?
the budgeted amount right now is like, what,
In other words, are we going to have to go with the same rough amount plus possibly a raise? Is that about right based on our experience this year?
yes, sir, it is.
Okay.
So then, to that point, ahead of that one, line 87 has budgeted for 22,000, but we spent 27,000. So maybe those lines got combined, because I don't think we've paid more than we've already this year. That's probably not accurate, right?
Which one?
87. We're over budget in theory, but I know that's not right.
Combined, the two are combined.
That's probably what happened there.
Okay. Line 127, code enforcement for contractual expense,
That was the demolition up on,
demolition of the house. Okay.
What was that again? What's that? I didn't catch it.
line number
127.
127. The house demolition was $62,000,
Or the course one. Yes, sir.
and that's coming back on their tax bill,
Yeah, it is. He was going to the county.
right? 140 youth director payroll, it was over budget. Is there a specific reason for that? It was budgeted for 11,000 and change, and we already spent 18,800.
Budget, okay, youth budget. Okay, that, some of the summer payroll that is mixed in with that. Youth budget director is under budget right now because she gets paid a set amount and it'll run out to zero for the end of December. For youth
But
director,
then the next line has a budget of 72,000, but we only spent 29,000.
we have so far, we've spent like 39,000 and say 500 for some of the youth personnel. Some of the money from youth personnel may have been pushed in and come off into youth.
So these numbers are inaccurate, is what you're telling us.
These numbers are low right now.
They're not accurate.
They're not on the money, but
Not on the money, okay. Zoning attorney is no expenditures at all. Did we pay the zoning attorney this year?
She was one that got paid.
yes, Lawrence did
It was
get paid.
budgeted for 10,000 and there's no expenditures.
He should be in zoning somewhere too.
Yeah, planning. Zoning and planning.
Planning has personal services
Yeah, I think
budgeted
he's
at
lumped into the planning
9,000.
services, the personal services and the planning clerk. Or the planning board.
So that's 28,000 on a $9,000 budget, so that's also not accurate.
Mhm. Yeah, and again, these are the things that we're working with GTM on,
All the payroll stuff.
all the payroll.
Is questionable.
Some of it's okay, it's,
It's the same thing with zoning, nothing for zoning for the attorney either,
Yeah.
Right.
20 extra thousand every other.
because he gets 10 and 10.
So I'm just, I guess, not clear on how we're supposed to do anything at all with this budget. Honestly.
You can't go by QuickBooks, so we're gonna have to go line by line for what was.
What people are asking for compared to what they asked for last year. No.
well, we can actually print that off from GTM. We know how much we've spent from GTM. It's been problematic getting that information from GTM to get into QuickBooks, but we can definitely run the report from GTM on what people are paid.
Yeah, but we need tentative budget tonight. So the only thing that we can do is look at,
The department sheets.
right. And we don't have original department sheets either. We have what Tom filled out. I mean, this is all in.
Actually, I think the handwriting is different on it, because there's a lot of handwriting that looks like Tom's, and then on the far right side, it looks like somebody else's. Did
Yeah,
you
Sure.
then Xerox what you wrote by hand and then handed out to people, and then they filled in this last
That's what
column?
I asked him to do.
Okay. All right. All right,
So if we
I
go
turn it
all the
over
way
to you,
the
Mr.
department
Supervisor.
heads.
The various departments were gracious enough to it. I couldn't,
These?
Yeah.
These are the ones in my box. So on the far right-hand side, I was what the people filled out.
yes. Only because I didn't have, I'm sorry, I had the numbers for them when I budget was and so on, and I gave them the sheets, and they were gracious enough to put the information in.
It's not just, we don't have the story in that yet either.
You just go from there.
Right, because that's exactly what they want.
You put it into the tentative budget, it's probably easier
Yeah.
just to go. through
Yeah,
the
it's,
budget.
I mean, there's a line.
What?
There's a whole line for tentative.
No, I know.
Okay.
We were talking about like these sheets. Should we just go line by line?
You start on page 3. Please. Okay, first item, town board, personal services. The 4 members on the board, no change. Okay, justices, from the justices, the Justice Cronow and Justice Slavin stayed with what they were for 2025 and 2026. They did request a 2% increase for Felicia as court clerk. On supervisor, stays the same. Deputy supervisor, stays the same. Contractual expense, and leave it at 300. Secretarial supervisor, 2% increase. Contractual, $800 over the monthly charges, cookbooks and so on. Accounting, we have a position. Looks like what we'll probably do is go with an accounting firm this year. So we have that number, and then a contractual expense of 26,000. I'm sorry, I skipped over tax collector and deputy tax collector. Basically, a 2% increase for those two.
You guys you're not filling the bookkeeper role, you understand?
What we may do is go with an accounting firm on that to have them. But we're still in discussion, trying to figure out the best path to use on that.
Where are we gonna pay UHY though and everything from?
Okay, UHY would be paid from the balance of this year.
Well, coming up for
Okay.
2026.
Okay, 2026 contractual expense and professional and personnel services.
What are we paying them for? 2024,
Well, you got 2022 and
well,
the
2022
financials all the way up through,
should be done, right? Or
well,
coming on,
2022 table, so we're gonna look at that, right?
like, how much, I mean, are they gonna finish 2022 or 2023 this year?
2022, she says she has finished. 2023, she is working on to get it done.
Okay,
And we got 24.
and 24 would be,
She has certainly looked into 2024, some, but 2023 is trying to knock down and get rectified first.
okay,
I'm just saying, do we have enough money in the line item?
Yeah, that was my question, because, I mean, was that Betsy's salary, the 45,688?
Yes, sir.
And do we know is it gonna be less or more than that to hire an actual firm out that's gonna have multiple people working on stuff at different times of the year?
The catch-up the catch-up is required, more people to get.
No, I get the catch up, but I just mean, once everything's good and standing and you have a 12-month budget where.
I have asked TBC for a quote on what he would charge us to do the reconciliation work and so on that they're doing now. I have been over there for a quote, and I haven't heard anything back from him yet.
So this could change when we get to the preliminary, is what basically is the gist of it now.
I think
We're just
it's
gonna put
have
that
to,
in for the tentative, and then it might change
It
one way or
may
the other
increase a little bit,
for the
yes.
preliminary.
because we have TOFR and then we have UHY, so we can't do it with that amount of money. Right, as of since now.
So this is the first I heard we might go with an outside firm instead of an employee. Is there a reason why we're thinking about doing that?
Consistency, to have somebody there. Unfortunately, we've had some turnover. I love having somebody here in the office, but I don't, I'm trying to just be realistic and making sure we can get somebody and have from there, that's there, to give us a lot of information. As I said, I put a quote, I asked Prince for a quote, and we didn't hear back on that.
June, do you remember why the personal services for accounting jumped from 10,000 to 39,000 between 23 and 24?
Because we had Michelle doing it. He has like part of her job.
Yep.
And then we went to
switched
a
it,
full-time with an actual position.
but we never reduced any expenses anywhere else.
Yeah, we actually helped do contract all at the same time, right? But at one time it was part of another position. Now, I don't think, it's a conversation probably for another night, but I don't know that we've had a lot of turnover. We've had 3 bookkeepers in the last 20 years that I can remember. So I don't think we've had a lot of turnover, but that's a discussion for another night. I don't think you're gonna find a firm that's gonna do it for the same amount as you're gonna find someone who takes a position here with us, but maybe I'll be wrong.
So the personal services accounting is paying for what?
Position.
Internal person or
It
external?
was paying for it.
What about in our proposed for next year?
That's what I'm saying, I don't think it's enough.
Well,
Or it should be
personal
in the-
services would be an employee,
It should
correct?
be, it should be.
So it should be a
Contractual
contractual.
expense.
And the employee, the personal services part should be reduced by significant amount.
Say that again.
Because you're saying.
If
like
we're not
the
hiring a
first-
person,
Oh, yeah.
then why are we spending $46,600?
You put it all in contractual expenses,
Right.
Right.
To be accurate.
which I don't necessarily think is a good idea, but that's, again.
Is it gonna cost $72,000 next year for accounting?
Like I said, I'm waiting to hear back from Vince and what he has to offer.
So we need to get that straightened out before we go any further in this budget, pretty much, right?
Well, we can do it in the preliminary, we can still make changes still. If we do the tentative tonight,
Right.
there's still changes that we can do for preliminary.
Okay.
72,600-ish a year, and it's like, so what I just,
And
so
it went up from 10,000 in 2023.
it's like
That's
6,000.
that's pretty excessive.
You got $6,000. You pay them.
Call him tomorrow. Okay, assessor. Michelle's been gracious enough to come in tonight, and she can quickly explain on requests. Thank you, Michelle.
So I requested a 2% raise for Diane to the $17,503.20. And I don't have what you had in front of you. Was there something, a discussion about what line item in the assessors? Was that, were you talking about the previously, were you going down the line?
No, we were.
Okay, because I heard assessor, so
Conversation.
I just, okay. Because I know, we haven't gone over budget. And then for myself, I did ask for a 6% raise. I will be certified. I'll have had all my classes by the end of November. And then also one other thing that I found out that the assessor should be doing is that all properties should be physically reviewed and individually appraised at the end of every 6 years. So I have to go out and I know another assessor that from talking to one of our assessor meetings is every 6 years you should, and the assessor should or have somebody, we don't have a data collector, be looking at every property at least once every 6 years. So that'll involve more time for me being out. That wasn't part of my job previously, or the last couple of assessors.
Why is the contractual increase from 4,000?
I have a breakdown of that. I can explain that because it's actually, what's that? Well, part of it's shoe hearts, yeah. So, I have, in there, the bar members that we,
Oh, that breakdown, I see.
so yeah, did I,
You don't have
was
to-
that included?
Yeah, you don't have
Okay,
to repeat
yeah,
that.
so if you have any questions on that.
Is the Shoe Hearts a ongoing project still?
That's why I keep asking, to make sure whether we should have it in there.
Ian and Wayne had gotten together and put the environmental impact study back to the engineers for the shoe hearts and the lawyer, and it's in their hands now, waiting for a response back. That's what we're waiting on.
Okay.
Nope, unless anybody's got questions for me.
Thank you very much, Michelle. Okay, next item up, town clerk, 2% for town clerk, Sue, and deputy town clerk, Lindsay, 2%. And probably stick with the $6,000 contractual on the expense line. Law professional, okay, law contractual expense, Ian, 2%, and then the $35,000 special projects, same as last year.
How much of the special projects did we actually spend out of that budget, you know?
How much into the actuals?
Right. Right now, about 6,600.
Okay, so how much do we really need in that budget? Would you anticipate that we would need much more than 10,000 next year?
Depends, it depends on litigation and things that come up, so it's hard to put a figure on it, but I think Tom will tell you I'm pretty judicious with my billing.
He's very,
But this external law firm that we're hiring for the special
Right, does that come
case,
out of
is
here?
that part of this
it
budget?
would come out of that.
Okay.
Do we have any idea how much that's gonna be?
I have not seen any figures yet.
So we don't have hourly billing?
We have an hourly rate, it's $3.50 an hour.
Okay. But we don't have a cap on it or anything like that in any kind of agreement?
There's no cap, we just got sued again,
Right.
so we have to defend it.
So is 35,000 reasonable or is that high?
Well,
We're on this year, could be less than really low.
I think 35 is reasonable.
Okay,
It's only $100 at that rate.
that's true.
Other questions on the law? Okay, engineer, Wayne, he said the 23,000 figure is good again for that this year. Okay, building, personal services. I asked Lisa, and Lisa came back with a request for $20 an hour based on what she had heard from the library. Right now, she's at about 150 37 hours. And her rate right now is 1720 or 1750?
1720.
1720, okay. So she's asking for more for the person what you heard, but that's,
So we're low then. At 4,100.
Can I have order for a second?
Still gotta get through.
137 hours. 137 hours?
That's what she's put in so far
That's
this
just
year.
now,
Oh,
we
okay.
gotta get through the end of the year.
Okay, I want to say divided by.
And she does about eight.
Which is about 8 a week.
She does about 9 hours, she does about 9 hours a week.
That comes up to like 3,600.
For 2025, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, she'll be coming in under $4,100 would cover.
I think that would cover it.
That's what based. Katie, roughly on Lisa.
Yeah.
For 2 weeks, well, normally she comes in with 9 hours or 10.
Yeah, 8 to 9 hours a
8
week.
to 9
Or
hours
8 to 9 hours
bi-weekly.
per pay period.
Okay, so that's what I figured $4,100 to see. Okay, firehouse, that's cleaning for Don. That's minimum wage,
I got a question on that. Do you
please.
show that as an income somewhere else?
Pardon?
Do you show that as an income somewhere else?
Not yet, no.
Because we reimburse that.
You will be.
So why would that be an expense? It's offset. Just saying.
I will double check with the accountant on that. Thank you.
Just saying. We pay it back, so it should be an income somewhere.
At least to cross out to zero.
What's that?
To cross out to zero at least.
Yeah, it should be zero out.
Yeah.
Normally.
I didn't know that.
All right, contractual expenses. Because of the increase in costs of supplies, I added $4,000 to that. We're getting, right now, we are approximately at $26,000 or $27,000 in that category. And looking to finish out the year, we would probably be close to 34,000.
Can I just ask a more general question? This is where, when I asked for the actuals versus budgeted, this is where I expected to see it. So we could actually see it line by line, going through this.
Okay,
That, you know,
all right, I'll have to, all right,
I'm just saying that, you know, like, let's say we dumped the 2025 preliminary budget line and had 2025 actual. That would be really helpful. Because this, like you said, this has got different, this is by account. I guess this is my account too, but they don't sync. So it's hard to, it would be great to see like that, you know, our contractual expense for the justice was budgeted at 500 and was actual at 800 or $330. Because right now I just feel like we're just looking at, numbers.
All right, I will revise that over the weekend then.
Isn't this what you always do? Is this what's always been done?
That's,
I'm not saying.
No?
I've got to find a way.
It did. It wasn't on here last year.
Right, because
Okay.
we didn't have actuals for 2020.
Okay,
Four.
gotcha.
So we really need to get back to that so we can,
Yeah.
yeah. And what we did last year wasn't good,
No, I agree.
so.
All right, I'll get that information. Library increased to 1,500. We're gonna have to do something about the railings over there. It's our building, it's our responsibility, we are rusting. And to prevent an accident, something coming back at us, I feel we have to look at that about getting it repaired. And looking for quotes on that to see what it would be to correct the rusting rail situation. Yeah.
Sorry, I don't mean to step on you. Did we ever check to see if the width of that ramp is ADA compliant? Before you go and put some money in there for just the railing, don't.
I believe I talked to Tracy about that, and I believe he said that was ADA compliant, and I will make sure. Okay. I'm gonna-
Yeah, just if you're gonna put work into it, you know.
He took out the book, and
Didn't we have a couple of years ago, some federal inspectors come and check out all that? Do you remember that, Jim?
The railing came up a long time ago and.
Well, we
but I
had,
don't know.
actually, they flew 8 federal inspectors up from Washington to look at it. So that 5 years ago or so? You don't remember that? No. I couldn't believe they did it. No, I just couldn't believe they did it. And we had to hire a contractor to do a couple of minor repairs on it to make it, ADA compliant. So based on that, I would guess that it probably is.
I just wonder, because sidewalks have to be 5 feet now, so that's just a
Well,
question.
maybe they changed some stuff, I don't know.
Just worth looking into, that's all, if you're gonna update, so.
I'll ask again. Okay, and mailings up to date right now, we're at $5,800, $5,825, something like that, $8,000. People have been prudent in usage of the mailing machine. General supplies. We're at like $2,700 or $2,800, $3,000 right now. 5. Balance of data. On the data processing, the equipment line dropped because of what we got this year with the laptops. Like you've given a sheet, maybe 2 laptops and docking stations for this coming year. Contractual, we give people the sheets, figuring the software costs that he outlined and his fee. He came up with about $15,000 for the different software and I believe he came up with $9,000 for his services for the year. We get charged $750 a quarter for the Wilmington Trust. And then there's little big charges, that's where the 3,500 is from. Insurance, I talked to Greg Scott about what it would be, what he feels for next year is legitimate. He told me to figure 10%. That's why I went from 5,400 up to 59.5. Municipal Association dues, we get 1,400. Website, Mike figured up for $1,600 on that. And contingency, leaving our contingency fund for general/highway, $40,000.
Do you know how much we use from our contingency for 2025?
We haven't used anything from the contingency yet. That's in case we get bad weather, we get a storm, but so far we've been able to stay out of that.
But this isn't, this is the town's contingency, not, because we ended up not doing the.
We separated it last year, and then the comptroller told us you can't have two separate contingencies,
Yeah,
so
so put them together.
That's why
We're putting them together this year, that's why it goes from 20 to 40.
we put them together last year, that's further adopted.
Right, but then my memory tells me that we actually used up almost all of that like in February or something.
In 24 we did, yeah, not 25.
I'm not here.
over the
Yep.
top on 56 road, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's why we raised it, yeah, that was for 24.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, budget on page 6. Street signs, DJ was gracious enough to go through it and was able to bring it back down to $2,000 and $2,500.
But it's staying the same as what it was this year, yeah.
Okay, thank you. Control of dogs, 2% for Bob. And then the kennel expense, I talked to what, if anything, he had there, and I upped it $300. I tried to put his note that he sent me in about the cost right now. I think he said it was like $350 a week if a dog has to be boarded somewhere, and that 2 weeks was all we had down for, so he brought up $1,000 to cover possibly 3 weeks. But that's based on information that he had given me for dog boarding. Code enforcement personnel services, 2% on the personnel services line and 2% on the clerk line. Equipment, Tracy felt it was squared on. Truck fuel, that's realistic, basically what he's using. Truck maintenance, 1,000. Contractual expense, 2,600. Lawyers fees, education fees, and so on. That's what's involved in that 2,600. Okay, the health registrar, basically a 2% until increase. Pursue ambulance service, the 278,819 is the figure that we received from Sand Lake Ambulance. Okay, page 8, Superintendent of Highways, Personnel Services, strictly a 2% raise for DJ. Equipment line stays the same. Contractual expense line stays the same as 2025. Bond went down to $5,000. Town garage, contractual expense. DJ, you probably better explain this, but
Yeah, well, so we were at 38 there because we've been replacing the garage doors and the boiler. Last winter, we did the moldings out in the shop, and then this year we've been working on the boiler that's gonna do the break room, office, parts room, bathroom side of the building. So, just kind of got a rough figure in there for propane, because it'll be the first year we're actually just strictly propane and not propane and heating oil. So I think we'll probably come down from 26 next year. We have a little cushion in there just in case we use more propane than what we're cooking, but also, you know, your other bills like your AED rental, your dumpster, your internet, the electricity, all that stuff's figured into that cost, so.
Thank you, DJ. Okay, street lighting, 21,000. We're now with New York Power Authority. The rates are less than what they had been through American Power, Energy, Power and Gas. So that's the reason why we're going to say with 21,000 for street lights. Veteran Services, we're going to keep that contribution at $4,200. Culture and Recreation, page 10. Youth Director, 2% increase. Kara figures on the Personnel Services, which is the counselors and nurse support. She lowered that by 2,000. Again, trying to be as efficient. She was very efficient this year with who she had for camp counselors. Hopefully it comes back to Poestenkill this coming year for 2026, which will make it better for all. And contract equipment, she feels 3,000 will work again, as will the contractual expense of 55,000 for the various trips that they go on, and culture and entertainment that they have come into the camp for the children. Library, nothing because of the change in the allotment based on the vote. Historian, I put Linda down for 2%. Okay, for those who don't know, Linda was involved in a car accident. She broke both ankles back in June. She was at the med center for several weeks, and then she got transferred into a rehab facility. And if I've understood the message correctly, she's just being released from the rehab facility now. And Gail Bentley has been running the Historical Society the past couple of weeks or thereabouts, but I haven't heard anything back from Linda yet. Hope she's okay. Did try and reach out to her. So the equipment, we leave at 500, and the contractual expense line, we leave at 5,000. Senior citizens contractual expense, we'll leave that at 4,200, the same as for 2025. Page 11, and community services. Okay, first item up, we have zoning, personal services. That is the zoning board. Same as last year, or same for 26 as 25. Zoning clerk, 2% increase for Steph. Warrants attorney stays at $10,000. Equipment, 100, contractual expense, 700, ads, etc. Planning board, the 9240 again is for the planning board members. Planning clerk, Steph is on the 2% increase. Attorney, 10,001 stays the same for that. Equipment, 0. Contractual expense, 2,000. Refuse and garbage, okay, well testing, less wells will be tested, that's why I went down to $3,000. I've been talking with Adirondack Engineering about what they're doing. That may even change, go lower. MS4, personal services, Tracy, just a straight 2% increase. And then community beautification, DJ brought that down $500 from this past year, from this year down to $2,500. Page 12 went through state retirement, Social Security, Medicare, workers' comp. We've been very, very, very fortunate and a lower rate because of our safety record, great safety record, and that's the reason for the drop. It was $11,000 and change for 2025, and that's split between general, highway, and water.
Why is the social security going down?
Well, okay, that social security went down because of the actual wages that we paid. We figured a little higher last year. And then I went through line item by line item and totaled it up, and that's how we come up with that.
Sounds good.
Can I ask on hospital though, this is, town-wide, you have like a 12% increase, but then highway
No, that's actually 17% increase. It should,
from last
okay,
year,
well,
and then highway was 22.
okay. I went through the individual that they have throughout the town who are getting medical insurance. And that's the number that I come up with for basically for Sue and Tracy and here in town hall. And then the health stipend. Okay, I can give you the numbers, broke it down, but Brown and Brown was telling me it's figure a good 17% increase across the board. And on highway, the reason for the difference is because now we have 2 people getting family on highway as opposed to what we had this year. I know Jack was there for a while, but the new gentleman, additional family. And then that figures 6 with one, okay, 6, actually 5 DJ, 4 others, and then 1 on the health stipend.
So 5 individuals and 1.
Four individuals,
Four.
I'm sorry, 3 individuals, 2 family, excuse me, you're not on that, and then 1 with the health stipend. That's where it comes into on highway for the medical insurance. Okay, page 13, and 1,443,000 is the total for town hall, so to speak, is general, so to speak, as opposed to including highway. Okay, on the revenue side, that 58 was based on taxes that are needed based on a formula. Okay, after plugging everything in. Sales tax, we've done very, very good, so to speak. I got to 680,000, figuring right now we're at 500. We've collected 560. We still have another payment coming in for the 3rd quarter of 2025. Based on those numbers, that's why I went up to $680,000.
Can I go back to A-1, the first one, real property taxes?
Yeah, that, okay, again, David, that's the formula.
Yeah, but what is it?
Okay,
Because it started in 2023 it was 113,000, then next year 31,000, next year 6,000. Isn't real property taxes like what I pay for my property? And everybody else?
It should be 158.
Yeah, I would think. Considering that budget versus actual has it at $774,000 actual income. That's the largest part of our income as a town.
yes, we did.
So that throws off the total, and that throws off the calculation for the tax rate.
No, that number comes from figuring the tax rate. That's, because I don't come up with that number off the top of my head. That's what was assigned. for that.
You're talking the 58,979? Like it's in the sheet, it's not a formula, it's just right there.
On real property taxes for actual, you have 774,
Yeah, like it just seems like it would be
more than that.
more than 6,000 for last year.
That puts Sue on the spot. About how much do we take in taxes each year? Property taxes, ballpark.
33, I'm supposed to collect about 40,200,000. I've taken about 3,900,000.
And a
I
lot of
turn
it
it
goes in
over,
county.
I turn over to town 1.6 something.
Right.
1.65 in February.
And that's total taxes, including water and everything.
Water, highway, general.
Water,
Yeah.
highway, everything. So that number's not right.
So Dave, I'm sorry to interject, can I say something? So you have 4 line items on your tax bill, that 6733 was the town general for last year, and those numbers previous were the years before that. That doesn't include all this other stuff, that is just the town general revenue. It came out to like $23 a household, or at least mine was. Because that money was moved over last year, that 350, whatever that number was, that offset that tremendously.
Well, we would still have the tax revenue coming in and we'd offset, that would also be another income, the fund balance, right?
Yeah, I agree with you, Frank. I think it's just
Yeah.
that one line item there, that number that sticks in my mind what that's for. Doesn't include the highway, doesn't include the county and all that other stuff. Whether it's right or not, I'm not sure, but that's where I think that number
You have a
is.
copy of this?
No.
You want to see it?
Sure. Can I take one?
You think it's right?
Yeah. That's 6355.
Yeah.
That was for, like, almost the town general.
Right, but that's the real property tax for the entire town, that's
That's what you
total.
take.
And this should be reflected in what we actually bring in.
Well, reflected, I'm not sure, but this does not say.
No, reflected, it should be accurate.
It should be accurate, it doesn't, but it doesn't have the housing, water and all that kind of stuff, that is just the general fund.
So is there, following that through, is there a line that says the tax revenue for
Highways in the next
the
page.
highway?
800 and some.
Go to the next page, next section. Yeah, real property taxes for highway is 889,000.
We ran into this situation last year, and that, I know, I realize what Frank is saying there, but that's a plugged in number, that is not a number that I come up with when I was going through this. I mean, that is a number that I manually put in, that was a number that I was given as I was running through.
Yeah, the 56, let's see, 56,000. See, makes sense. As long as there's.
All I can say is looking back to again this tomorrow morning on this, and go back through my numbers and go back, try to come up with a better answer. But we're not supposed to be seeing $774,000 in that line item. Okay, franchise tax, 60,000. Same. Registrar fees, these numbers that are given, planning board fees, those fees verification, interest and earnings. I went a little conservative on that, only because interest rates are slowly dropping. Right now, we are in excess for what we've collected so far in 2025. We are in excess of the 70,000. And the mortgage tax, last year we got just went over $100,000. That's why I bumped it up to $95,000 this year. Page 15 on the highway fund. Right now, that 332 figure represents the staff that we have and figuring, hopefully adding another truck driver for 2026. I'm sorry, DJ,
Yeah, you want me to go through every line for you?
if you don't mind, instead of me saying.
So yeah, basically the street maintenance, personal services, we had a little bit of a decrease from the 336 because we had a couple guys retire, so we got some guys at lower rates, so that brought that down a little bit. Contractual went up 3,500. That's our fuel line, uniform line, equipment rental line, radios, culverts, all that comes out of there. A little bit of increase on a couple of those, so we brought that up just a smidge. Permanent improvements is our paving line. We're jumping that 34,000 and brings us up to 285 from the 251. 211 of that is CHIPS and state aid, trying to get us back to where we match CHIPS like we used to back before we got the increases with COVID and everything. Just so we can simply keep up with the cost of hiring contractors and all the day rates at prevailing rate. Bridge 4 stays the same, at 5,000. Machinery 2 is going down from 57,704 to 40. Tom and I have been working pretty hard these past few weeks to kind of go over everything from this year's budget, and because of some staffing issues in the beginning of the year, we were quite a bit under with payroll. We had an early payment figured in for the tractor, and then you're gonna see some budget transfers at the October meeting. That'll be on the agenda. We're gonna be able to pay off the mowing tractor like 3 years early. So that's why you're seeing that drop. That 57 was the mowing tractor payment. And so dropping it down to 40, we're gonna try and replace our patch roller with that next year. But so you're seeing a big drop there because we're paying the mowing tractor off early ahead of the lease. So that was pretty big. And then no changes to machinery 4. That's our parts line for all of our equipment. No change for snow 1. That's our overtime line. And based off of the hourly rates of everybody, I use 200 hours for a season to kind of figure out where we're going to be. Some years we're 110, some years we're 190. It just depends on the winter. I always estimate them out at 200 because sometimes you have double time figured into with holidays and stuff. So, but with the lower rates, some of the new hires, we're going to be fine with that one. So. And then snow 4 is jumping because salt's gone up $10 a ton on the new contract. Sand's gone up a couple dollars a ton. Cutting edges are staying the same, but that's why you're seeing that jump from 92 to 100 even. So, unfortunate part with the salt contract, that went up quite a bit. But the sand one, though, county contract, it's worth mentioning, I think. is $14 a ton this year, and Scott Valero's only charging us 10. So he's taking care of Poestenkill pretty good there. He always keeps us a little bit less than the county contract. We were paying $850, and they were, I think, around 11 and change, but with it going up, I think it's worth mentioning, he's helping us out pretty big there, saving some money, so. And then the last one, Records Farm bond payment, that's $68,000 for the bridge, so. And that starts in January.
Thank you very much, DJ.
Yep, no problem.
Okay, page 16, retirement. Went up a little bit, again. Looking for. We have Social Security, again, I figured out based on what wages we paid, full house, and that's where it came there. Medicare, about the same. Workers' comp, again, because of the breaks that we get through the county, we were able to reduce that there. And the disability insurance stayed the same. Hospital and medical, Brown and Brown is telling us very good 17% increase. And the makeup of the highway crew right now has changed, so to speak. We have 2 family members, and we also have 4 individuals and 1 on a health stipend. That's the reason for that $141,550 for the insurance. Page 17. Numbers staying basically the same, going across. Okay, water. Keith is here tonight to answer questions. Contingency will stay with the $20,000. Building equipment with a 3% increase just to cover. And then collections, town clerk and deputy town clerk, 3% raises there. Dig safe designee, same. Reporting, we have to do the 811 reporting on a regular basis. Legal services, $500 in case something happens. Administration maintenance, $1,200 for minor items, etc. Trigger ribbon, etc. Water manager, 3% increase. Truck maintenance, $100,000 to cover tires. And truck fuel, $500. Assistant water manager and water technician. Based on what their hours are in 2025, that's what the reduced number is. They did get a 3% increase, or they're requested a 3% increase, but we're using far less hours than what was initially scheduled. And going back through both Rob's and Brett's, and times are not just, they're not putting all the hours that we figured in. That was the reason for the reduction.
Did you say what they've used this year for that assistant water manager? I only ask because when we help out the water department, that's the line I pull from for GTM to have my guys get paid by the water department. So I don't want you to shortchange yourself and not be able to.
No, this is not shortchanging us on that. It's reduced because before, last year we had figured for 14,700 and 18 for those 2 positions, and hourly wise, they just not even come close on any of that. And figuring a little extra in to cover the work that your people.
So you're figuring there's a cushion in there, you're saying, for the highway guys?
If you add, I can try and increase that a little more if you think.
No, I mean, if you think you got a cushion figured in, that's great. I'm just, your repair line's going up, which is the line you use to hire contractors, but your payroll line that you use to hire us is going the opposite way. So I don't want to see you get in a spot where, highway guys, we're just going to pay for the highway budget, which is not.
It's not what we agreed on.
Well, it's not legal. You can't. So.
Thank you, sir.
I just didn't know what you were at year to date, to see if you had enough of a cushion there, that's all, because you can't really plan water breaks.
Okay, I have a year-to-date number upstairs and I'll get.
And did you say tires for, I don't mean to step on Keith here, it's not my budget, but you said truck maintenance, he needs tires?
Yeah, outside the starting to dry out.
So I think 1,000's probably not enough then, because you're gonna spend most of that on tires, and then you have nothing for oil changes and any other repairs and stuff.
Okay.
I mean, you'll probably spend almost all that on tires for that, those are 17s, I believe.
I just did, that's on a car.
Yeah, so, I just, we're gonna have to do it, it's gonna have to get inspected, you're gonna have to do at least one oil change on it,
1,500?
Yeah, that'd probably be fine.
Okay. Please change maintenance to 1,500. Okay, administration contractual, because we haven't used anywhere near 12,000, I've shifted 3,300 down to repairs. Because situations come up, as we've had a couple this year up in the Abbott area, and then on Spring Ave by Ed's Garage, across from, Horton, thank you. Electricity for the pump house. Going up 7,500 because of rates and usage and the amount of actual electricity being used as opposed to previous years. Lab fee, figure $3,000. Purchase of water, I got 140,000 only because we're trying to track down a leak, and I figure I'd like to go a little high for district number 1 based on that, and that's the reason we put $140,000 in there. Chlorine, the chemical cost, make sure we cover it, and then the other numbers for employee benefits fall based on what the wages were. That's what we figured that. And again, workers' comp benefiting from the great rate that we've been given. Debt service, 148,100 as standard. That gets finished in 2041. Okay, page 19, benefit unit charge. That it's a little lower as a reflection of the increase. Primarily reducing the funds allocated for assistant water manager and water technician. It's causing a decrease there.
Is that right when we're, I'm sorry, Tom, is that right that it's, we switched from tentative and preliminary, which is a typo? Right, it has been, right, it's preliminary and adopted, right? Yeah.
Why is the benefit unit charge income dropping? You said it went from 322 to 306.
Okay, again, David, that was formula, again, that's a formula number, I believe, and that's because the expenses, primarily because of the labor, decreased, causing the benefit unit charge.
I thought we increased the benefit unit charge.
I'm sorry, say it again?
I thought we increased the benefit unit.
The benefit unit charges will fluctuate from year to year depending on what the expenses in the water department are. Because as you can see, looking across 2023, 2024, they bounce back and forth.
But I thought we had discussion, a couple months ago, that we were going to increase the benefit unit charge because we were worried that we were going to lose money in the water district.
We increased the water rate.
water rate.
water rate, we brought it up to 610 because of increases that we
Oh,
experienced
but benefit unit charge, right.
is that separate line entry on the tax form. But we did increase the water rate up to 610 an hour. As of January 1st. Because of the
Right,
base,
that's right.
because of the cost that.
But I understand why the benefit unit charge would go down.
It's fluctuated a lot.
And we have more people, more users in the district.
Because we'll get our final number on users, but I went by what we showed for 2025, and then on the other district, it increased by, it was like 13.5, and I went to 14, because of one lot becoming a house.
Right.
All right, meter sales increased a little bit, and then the other fees were about the same. And total revenue, and then less benefit charge goes down $135,000 for that. On district number 4, I'm trying to get information back from LaBerge. It's incomplete. We won't see water flowing through the pipes until November, late October, or November of 2026. So these are partial numbers for the end of 2026, based on what projection. But again, I'm trying to get some more information from the LaBerge so as to be able to double check myself on what I have here. Lab fees is the testing of the water going through the pipes and the systems. And then the chlorine, strong usage, 25% as opposed to 12.5. 5% that's normally used, and is to help clean the pipes as the water runs through. That's what I have. As far as income goes, and Keith, correct me on this, but as far if the water doesn't run until November, we will not see any income until 2027.
Yep. They told you they're gonna estimate they're gonna turn the water on by November. I mean, they can't pave over the mains that they dig until they test it. So how are you gonna pave roads in November?
So how are we gonna what?
How are they gonna pave roads in November? I mean, all that's gonna be dirt until everything's tested, unless they're just gonna say pressure test is good enough, but. It's crazy.
Okay, DJ, they're telling me that water will be flowing come November, and they'll have the road.
When's it gonna go out to bid?
This November. And they're saying that shovel work will begin in the late April.
Do we know, and granted, Keith is fairly new here, so I'll put him on the spot here, but do we know what we got or what was utilized for $6,000 this year for water ship through for the water manager?
We have not done it. Because, again, that was put together last year because I thought we were going to have work done in 2025. That did not come to be. So there's been no expenditures, no income whatsoever in district number 2.
All right, thank you.
As far as the tentative budget goes, do we want to have a vote on that tonight? I know I have to get numbers, check different items that have been asked of me. But I believe we have, and then again, this is the tentative budget. We have 2 more sessions to go through in order to come up with a final budget.
I'll have a tentative budget in by the end
I think it's like another week and a half,
so
2 weeks.
it's not like we're gonna meet again, so we're gonna have to approve. And then change it down the road.
With this tentative budget, how much is the tax increase? Or decrease?
No, there's no tax increase. Okay.
You never know.
We have not put in, okay, I'm sorry. All right. Right now, based, without any unexpended funds being plugged into the equations, right now it's at $19.70. Come up from $14.42 without anything being put in.
Approximately $5.
Yes, and that including, that's with the fire
That'd be
department.
33%.
All right,
That's not 30%.
That's without anything being put in. All right, make a motion that the tentative, that we approve the 2026 tentative budget.
You're still in discussion item.
Going on.
Okay, I'm sorry. Okay. All right, action items. Action items, okay, approval of resolution number 34, 2025, authorizing budget transfer of $1,651 from youth personnel services account number 1731011 to general insurance vehicle account number 119104.
What is that for, Tom?
Okay, that is for, we received a notice from Gallagher Insurance regarding updates on their policies regarding Tracy's truck and then one of the highway trucks, new highway trucks. They had not billed us for that, and that was, we had to make 2 payments out to Gallagher Insurance for their oil or truck updates.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes, sir.
Why aren't we pulling that from contingency then and not from youth?
That's gonna be my question. Seems like we always pull from youth.
Yeah, it seems like youth is paying all of our bills. I mean, I get it, my insurance went up on vehicles, but that's why we have contingency. Why take it from another?
I was just being cautious in case we get hit by a severe storm or something, we need to contingency.
Then you can take it from you.
It just seems to me like we're, like the youth is paying all of our stuff that we're not expecting here or something, but.
Right,
And I mean, we also haven't used all of Tracy's truck maintenance either. I don't believe either for 2025, so I mean, you have money in there that could come out of the actual budget.
That's a lot closer.
That's a lot closer. Just fine. 2 cents.
All right, then we table this motion and then we do it.
Well, we can amend it, if you want to amend it to change it to contingency, you can do that as well. You're not going to table it.
Try to be paid.
Right.
Okay,
It's up to you, if that's what you want to do, if you want to change what line it comes from, you can just amend the resolution. You know what line it would be, DJ?
I don't know what the insurance line would be, no.
okay, no, the insurance, DJ,
The
the insurance.
contingency line.
Oh,
The contingency line is going to be, it's going to be 1990.4. I'm sorry, 119904.
Yep.
Is the contingency.
So if someone wants to offer an amendment, you can do an amendment on the resolutions.
Thank you for explaining that. I'll offer the,
I'll second that amendment.
Who's the first? I'm sorry.
okay, thank you for putting forward and seconding. All those in favor? Okay, I'm sorry, I gotta read the resolution. I'm
Well,
sorry.
this is,
Yeah,
we're voting on the amendment
The
first.
vote, we have to vote on the amendment. Okay, all those in favor of the amendment to revise the resolution to have the money pulled from the contingency account instead of the youth account?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay,
Although no.
all right. Anyone abstaining? Okay, so the amendment has passed such that the youth account is no longer being pulled on. It's not a contingency fund that we're pulling the $1,651 from.
So it would read 1990.4 contingency to 119104 would be the new resolution, which I will mark up tomorrow.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, so we can go ahead and vote on this resolution, revised
The
resolution.
amended resolution.
Amended resolution.
Didn't mean to make more work for you, sorry.
That's easy.
Okay, amended resolution number 34-2025. Resolution for the purpose of amending the Town of Poestenkill's fiscal year 2025 budget and all things generally related thereto. Whereas the Town of Poestenkill adopted the operating budget for fiscal year 2025 by the adoption of resolution number 29-2024. And whereas by this resolution, the Town of Poestenkill desires and intends to make certain amendments to the budget, and now therefore be it enacted and resolved by the Town Board of Poestenkill that the Town of Poestenkill fiscal year 2025 budget shall be amended by transferring $1,651 from 11904 contingency services to number 119104 general insurance vehicle. All provisions of the Town of Poestenkill's fiscal year 2025 budget not changed shall remain as originally approved by the adoption of resolution number 29-2024, prepared and approved as formed by Ian H. Silverman. The foregoing resolution offered by, I'll offer it. And anyone care to second it?
I'll second.
Thank you, Frank.
Councilwoman Butler?
Yes.
Councilman Brzee?
Yes.
Councilman Haas?
Yes.
Councilman Oliver?
No.
Supervisor Russell?
Yes, please. Thank you. Okay, next item up is approval of resolution number 35-2025, authorizing the hiring of counsel to respond to in the matter of the application of Patrick Wing versus Tim Hoffey, Abigail Gelder, Donna Camcar, Nicole Heckelman, Paul Jameson, Frank Brzee, Tracy Church, Ian Silverman, Lawrence Howard, and Stephanie Volkman. Resolution number 35-2025, a resolution authorizing the hiring of counsel to respond to in the matter of the application of Patrick Wing versus Tim Hoffey, Abigail Gelder, Donna Camcar, Nicole Heckelman, Paul Jameson, Frank Brzee, Tracy Church, Ian Silverman, Lawrence Howard, and Stephanie Volkman. Whereas Tim Hoffey, Abigail Gelder, Donna Camcar, Nicole Heckelman, Paul Jameson, Frank Brzee, Tracy Church, Ian Silverman, Lawrence Howard, and Stephanie Volkman have been served in their official capacities with a summons and a complaint with Patrick Wing. Whereas the town's insurance carrier has declined coverage on this matter as no damages are being sought, among other reasons. And whereas the town has solicited the office of Gleason, Dunn, Walsh, and O'Shea to respond to this matter based on the firm's experience in municipal litigation. Now therefore be it resolved that the town board of the Town of Poestenkill authorizes the town supervisor to enter into a retainer agreement for legal services with the firm of Gleason, Dunn, Walsh, and O'Shea to represent the town in the matter of the application of Patrick Wing versus Tim Hoffey, Abigail Gelder, Donna Camcar, Nicole Heckelman, Paul Jameson, Frank Brzezzi, Tracy Church, Ian Silverman, Lawrence Howard, and Stephanie Borton. Prepared and approved as performed by Ian H. Silverman. Resolution offered by? I'll offer it. Anyone care a second?
One second.
Thank you, June.
Before you have a discussion.
Please, let's go ahead for discussion.
This just kind of supersedes the last one, right? 'Cause we're adding more folks to it.
It's been converted to an Article 7A, and there's a new defendant's name as well, but it's essentially the same thing. I wasn't even necessarily sure you needed to vote on it, but I figured in the interest of transparency, to bring it before the board.
And then I guess for discussion is, do we want to talk about putting some sort of cap or on this one? I know we didn't do it at the last one. Those are my questions.
I think it's difficult to put a cap on legal fees. I think the rate is reasonable, but there's no retainer, essentially, there's nothing, initial retainer fee down, so it's hourly. Unfortunately, I can't guarantee what it's gonna cost, I can't guarantee what the hourly figure is gonna be. It's gonna be what it has to be in order to properly defend the town.
And they're probably gonna bill us monthly, right? Is that?
No, it should be done relatively quickly. We got 20 days to respond from the most recent filing. I know I was served Saturday night, so, the papers will be in before the end of October.
Is this the kind of thing that's gonna go before a judge?
It will be, yes, it's gonna be in state Supreme Court.
Now, in cases like this, not necessarily this one, if the town wins, do they sue the plaintiff for legal fees?
Well, I'm not sure how much I want to get into the actual merits of the case, given the fact that Mr. Wing is staring right at me as we speak. So if we want to go into executive session, we can do that. This is simply just to retain the services of Gleason, Dunn, Walsh, and O'Shea.
Well, the extended people, the extended group of people.
I'm sorry?
It's for the extended.
Correct,
people, right?
yes. It's, essentially, I presented it to the firm to make sure there was no conflicts with them, so they could represent everybody. And just to give the board notice, I provided a copy of the latest summons complaint to everyone. I'm not sure if everyone's had a chance to go through it, but, everybody's on the same page and knows what I know.
I just wanna, not make our taxpayers be on the hook for tens of thousands of dollars if it's not necessary.
Well, it's necessary because the town's being sued. I'm being sued myself. I can't represent the town in this matter because I'm being sued and there's an inherent conflict, and Frank's being sued as well. So, if I'm a named party, I can't represent anyone. So we need someone to represent us. Lawrence is also a named party. Those are the two attorneys that work for the town. So it's an unfortunate reality of doing business.
That's all I have.
Eric, any?
That's it, thanks.
All right.
Councilman Butler?
Yes.
Councilman Brzezzi?
Abstain.
Councilman Haas?
Yes.
Councilman Wallaber?
No.
Supervisor Russell?
Yes, please. Thank you. Okay, going in order. Okay, next item up is approval of 2026 tentative budget. Comments or discussion? Okay, there's information I have to get back to people on. I will revise the layout of the budget for the preliminary, so as to show actually. I think that's what you asked for, Frank. And I'll get that information back to the people. So you have plenty of time to review it. Do I have a motion to approve the 2026 tentative budget?
And one more, what happens if we table it until the next meeting?
It has to be in.
We'd have to meet in the next week in order to do so.
But what if,
It merely is the tentative budget. obviously changes are gonna be made. It's just a procedural formality, more or less, that we're accepting what has been offered as the 2026 tentative budget. We're not bound by it. It's the fact that we've accepted, we entered it in, discussed it, and now over the next several weeks, we will make amendments before finally passing the proposed and enacted 2026 budget.
What if we don't approve budget, period? Isn't it become?
That's a bit of a loaded question.
Well,
Frank is gonna pull that out.
well, if
The chair pulls out
we don't
Monday.
approve the final budget, then is it
That
a
reverts back
tentative
to last
budget?
year's budget.
Correct.
Reverts back to last year.
Is that true, or?
All right.
And last year's budget did not have any contingencies for an ambulance service.
That's true.
Didn't we change the 2025 budget to include at least half?
For half the year, we wouldn't have enough to pay the full amount.
Or youth?
So are you gonna ask your department heads then, like, at the preliminary meeting to be present, so when you go through and try to make cuts, or is that something you're gonna hit them with before the preliminary meeting? Just so your department heads know what your next step is, because usually, like last year, you guys went through the budget like 3 times this night. I'm not saying I wanna do that again, but only after department heads are here, and if you're gonna ask them to make cuts, is it gonna be between now and the meeting, or is it gonna be during the meeting? I feel like they should know.
This is just a tentative,
No, I know that.
and then we're going to go, in the next step, preliminary, and the internal have communications with everybody, so we know what,
So you're gonna try and make cuts before the preliminary, or you're gonna make cuts at the preliminary is the question?
I would think back at the preliminary.
Okay, so if your department heads aren't at the preliminary, then it's on them if they don't like the cuts, is what you're saying? Hopefully they'll watch.
I don't have enough confidence in our bookkeeping system to vote yes on this, because I have no information from which I can make a good decision on this budget.
I was gonna say something similar, like I think we've put, I haven't just come into the meeting and say, where's the information? I've been working with the people in the town, with Tom, on trying to get the books straight, and I still don't think we're there. And I still feel like I'm
Flying blind.
flying blind and passing it so that we can submit something on September 30th. So,
I mean, I think we all agree on that aspect of things, but to your point, it still has to be
Right, this is not the final budget.
right.
I know, doesn't,
I think we all agree that it needs a lot of work, but
yeah,
we have to still do it by the end of the month.
right, but what are we gonna do to get those things filled in, that information filled in? Because we can come here in 2 weeks, if it doesn't match, it's still not gonna be, if we don't have an actuals that are representative of actuals spending line by line, we're gonna be asked the same question we are today, and I really don't think we have a plan of action. We haven't gotten there in this last year or so, and I just, going through the budget last year, we changed administration, whatever you want to call it. A lot of turmoil and digging and finding stuff and not finding stuff, but this is now, I'm doing math, 22 months later. And while the numbers are definitely coming into focus, we're still not, there's still fairly
Inaccurate.
big gaps between, and I can't I can't see it on our budget sheet because we don't have actuals. And I requested that. I've gone through the work of trying to get help for the town. And like, you know, I haven't just been coming here and voting no. I've been doing stuff. And I still think we need to go a little bit further, and I don't know what I can do, but is there anything that we can do to help get this?
I'll be going through and redoing the budget, such it has actual spending, so you can compare numbers.
They have to be
Year-to-date?
accurate, actuals.
Without question, I'm not gonna pull them off the top of my head, David. It doesn't do anybody any good. We're going through them, and I'm not gonna have it done tomorrow morning, it's gonna take me time. But I have to get that done in less than 2 weeks. And we'll be getting back out to you for your review prior to when we sit down again on the 19th. That's all I can offer, Frank.
Yeah, I'm still in the, I don't think it's right to the people that we're representing to agree to accept this, budget. That's
This tentative budget.
tentative budget.
Tentative
Correct,
budget.
and I'm not saying that, as it stands now, that's where I am, but I think we need to get, we owe it to the people who put us here to get that work done.
Yes, sir.
And it should be all on you, just saying.
Well, no, I appreciate that, Frank, no, but it will be, right, we owe it to the people, the residents, it all comes first, most important, and we'll get it, and get that information to you, so that you can review it prior to, and get a chance.
And I think another thing we're gonna be obviously seriously thinking about is how much money to use from our unexpended balance to offset a tax increase. So we need to have very accurate figures of how much we actually have in unexpended balance before we can proceed with that particular discussion.
I have some information which I can share with you.
Yeah. When the time is right.
Conversation with the board. Do I have a motion to accept the tentative 2025 budget, considering that there's much work that needs to be done in order to correct it, to bring it back prior to the preliminary budget session on 10/9. I'll make a motion. Would anyone care to second?
Second?
Thank you, Jen.
Councilman Butler?
Yes.
Councilman Brzez?
No.
Councilman Haas?
No.
Councilman Oliver?
Nope.
Supervisor Russell?
Yes, please.
So then what happens?
Guess we're meeting next week? Did you say the 9th too was gonna be the next budget meeting? So we were planning on having the preliminary at the board meeting, the regular monthly meeting? What's the point?
They have it out for people to look through, yes. But obviously, we're gonna do something before that.
Well, you either
That's
meet next week
Tuesday.
or we keep going at it tonight.
That's what you got.
Yes, I mean-
Light of it, but
Tuesday is the 30th.
Yeah.
So you can't,
And I'll be unavailable Tuesday.
how many days' notice do you have to have it too?
Thursday's the second. We usually have our meetings on Thursdays, that's usually
I'm actually unavailable Monday and Tuesday.
the Thursday then. What's wrong with Thursday the second?
because supposedly you have to have it by the 30th.
We're supposed to have our 2022 audit and 2023 audit, so I'm just, I mean,
There's
we
no
can't,
gas on fire.
yeah, we just can't, we can't just do it just because we gotta get the information.
Is there a late fee if we get it on the second?
5%.
Well, we don't submit anything until we do the final budget.
Correct.
So
This is an internal.
will they arrest us?
Who's they?
That's what I'm asking. So if we have it on the second, it's stretching a little,
Right,
but
but it's in your office.
we're not gonna go to jail.
Yeah, correct. I mean, we'll still have the budget. I mean, you can have a late budget too.
Right.
I'd rather have a good budget late than a paper mache budget, whatever.
Yeah, but just know too, that you're gonna ask your town clerk to sign a tentative budget that's not on time. So it's not your name signing that, it's hers.
Thank you, sir.
It's worth mentioning.
You willing to take that risk of going to jail?
No comment.
Now, Sue's going to budget with 30% increase.
She's not gonna go to jail.
I don't think anybody's going to jail, let's do it right. Just get it done.
Well, let's keep working on it tonight.
Well, you can't be the
You
only one
can't,
working
you don't have
on
the
it.
information.
That's, I've been saying that over, it can't be just,
No,
it's,
he needs help. It's a lot.
yes, when you were talking about the differences, I'm pretty sure you can come in during the day and go through it. It's, I mean, you need to help, let's,
You have to be aware that if there's more than two of you, it's a public meeting.
okay, ships.
Is there anything that we can, I know we lost the first vote. Is there anything we can modify on, or put conditions on the tentative vote? I mean, the tentative budget, the whole second vote?
What are you suggesting?
That there are inadequacies based on what some of the board members have brought forward. That this is, this tentative budget is being put forth as an effort. It's just not a final budget by any stretch, not even a preliminary budget. It's just an idea of what the different departments feel that they need and what we have going forward for 2026. It's just a first step and not by any stretch a final step. It's just something we're trying to accomplish and get a show of effort to try and abide by the budget process, which is having a tentative done by September 30th or September 29th.
Well, I think that's sort of inherent in the term tentative. If we say that it's inadequate or inaccurate information in the budget, I don't know if that makes it better or worse to pass a tentative budget in which we're acknowledging the information is at least incomplete, if not inaccurate.
Incomplete, I think, is a term I prefer over inadequate.
So I think by very definition, tentative presumes that changes can and may be made. But I'm not really sure there's a way around it. The resolution didn't pass, and this is where we are.
So what does Sue do on the 30th?
I'm sorry?
What does Sue do on the 30th? And she can't.
I'm
Well,
not
she-
sending it anywhere. It's just gonna be, I don't send it to the county or anything. This is a tentative. I sign it, but.
There'll be nothing to sign.
There's nothing to say.
There's not been a tentative budget passed tonight, so there's nothing for you to sign.
There's really nothing on you to,
It's up to the board to work and pass a tentative budget at this point. One was presented, it was voted down by the board, and now it's incumbent on everyone on the board to rectify that and pass a tentative budget. And I think the board members need to come forward and see what they would like to see changed. And Tom presented this tonight, it was voted down, and now I think it's incumbent on the three members who voted it down to have a voice and say what they would like to see altered with the budget. Because if we just come back here on Thursday and there's not a cohesive group working on this, we're gonna be in the same spot.
I agree. My issue has just been the actual versus, putting a column in that for actual versus actual
25.
2025. I know we don't have 2024, but we should have 2025 up to date, whatever that date is, whether it's,
The end of August.
yeah, end of August, end of September, and then I guess end of August. And then just so, because we could do the questions to you where basically it's tax revenue is low, but we're gonna get another tax revenue, so we can go through each one and just see. But I think, our personnel stuff is a little bit all over. It would be good to have those numbers in the right place, right next to
Each line item.
each line item.
If we could have that in advance of the meeting on Thursday, I think that'd be more productive.
I do.
And, have some communication amongst the members, so we're not just hashing it out here. If we can have those questions asked and answered previous to the actual meeting, I think that'll be more productive. And, so if we can, I don't know how long it's gonna take to get the actual numbers, but, I think that would be the best approach, and not to do this first time at the board meeting.
We have the numbers, it's physically entering them in. So in addition to all the other things that I do that are on my plate for the town, now I'm doing data entry. And that includes social security tax, Medicaid, it's all of those things.
Katie, no, this is on me, Katie. This is on me.
No, tough, it's clearly,
Katie,
on both of
it is
us.
on- No, isn't, no, I will be going through it, I have to amend the budget and put in that column and go through it. That's what it's gotta be done.
So we have it written down, you're saying? It's just not entered into QuickBooks?
yeah, it's in GT, all the payroll stuff is in GTM. So we can print that out and we can put it in there, but it's not in QuickBooks because it all has to be entered in as journal entries.
Right, but we've been told for 2025 that everything is accurate and up to date for QuickBooks.
Is that,
That's what we've been told.
Are we
Well,
saying
I'm
that-
talking about expenses.
I'm talking,
Well, I know, they're
Yeah,
going
this-
up, they're saying multiple different things that they weren't happy with, so I'm just trying to narrow down what we need to
I'm
look
just,
at.
can I
What
just
payroll,
follow up on, has the
which has never been in
payroll
there.
for 2025 been entered into QuickBooks?
I'm sorry, say it again?
Has the payroll for 2025 been entered into QuickBooks?
It's because we have to,
I understand
it's very
that part.
complicated because people that are paid on two lines, like June, well, if the way that we're talking about doing things, she'll get two checks.
Okay, are
Because we have to do all of the social security, the Medicaid, all of it.
So, I've got a couple questions. Is there any payroll entries in QuickBooks?
Yes, there are
Yes.
payroll
Okay.
entries in
I'm
QuickBooks.
just.
Oh, yeah,
checking.
yep.
Definitely.
And then the next, are we currently putting in payroll as it happens? Or are we trying to make up for
We're
stuff in the
still
past?
making up for past.
But are we keeping current with the current and while we're making up with the past?
I
Yes.
thought you guys told
Yes.
GTM to do that, wasn't that something?
No, because I haven't had actually the time to do the data mapping that's required to do that dump because I'm doing these additional tasks.
But that's a plan in the future. right?
Yeah,
GTM 's
absolutely.
gonna be doing it. That's right.
Absolutely.
Okay, so all right, we meet again on Thursday, the 2nd, as I understand it. We'll get this budget situation squared up and have another vote on the tentative budget for 2026.
And I'll send
Any
you,
information?
Sue, a notice of public meeting tomorrow.
Thank you very much.
I said before that my main objection is the fact that the information that we're given about actuals doesn't appear to be accurate. The other thing is I won't vote for a budget that has approximately 30% tax increase.
How much is the ambulance by
And
itself?
the ambulance is the vast majority of that increase. Out of, okay, on the general account side, ambulance is 278, and other increases were another 20,000.
Right, but the purpose of having actual, accurate information about what we spent this year is that we could be over budgeting in some departments, under budgeting in others, and we can make adjustments perhaps that will save us some money, that will make up for the increase from the ambulance. But if we don't have accurate numbers, we can't make any decisions like that, which is what we ran into last year with our budget. And this is very frustrating, and that's why I will vote no on this.
All right, we'll have your actual numbers, David.
Thank you.
Thank you, David. Thank you very much, sir. Okay, last item I'd like to bring up is in reference to resolution.
Last week, or the last one? Yeah, just so everybody knows, so I reached out to UHY. I sent them 2 emails and I've not heard back from them.
You did get a response.
You did
They
get a
sent
Oh.
you something just
When? Because I
Today,
looked at like,
today.
like 5:50.
I looked at 4:30 and it's,
Yeah.
okay. I'll look at it and let you know. I mean, unless you want, I don't know if we're up against the time. crunch
I
on
would
this.
just like to get this resolved because she has the draft of the 2022 annual fiscal report finished. And it just needs our approval in order to submit it. And she did answer your questions.
We're gonna be here next week, maybe just. We're gonna be here next week, so maybe just, she sent the response fairly late today.
I'll check it. Thanks. She sent it to everybody, I assume?
I got a copy of it, so I don't know who she sent it to.
All right, then the table is 10/2/2025.
I think after, when I talked to her, I said, if you're gonna do something, send it to everybody on the, like.
I was trying to talk to her on the phone, I'm looking at it.
Okay. Budget transfer on that 1,651. That's been completed.
Yeah, we have to go on that.
Thank you very much. Okay. All right, public comment session. Greg, please.
I hate related things, but, Greg Pat on 28Q report. I would just want to say, I'm not a lawyer, but I'm looking at the state controller's office for the procedure for setting up, doing a budget. Is Tom the budget officer? He presents the budget?
Correct.
Okay. I mean, according to their schedule, his job is to give it to the town clerk by the 30th. The town clerk, by October the 5th, presents it to the town board. So I'm wondering why there was a vote. Seems to me that it goes from Tom to the clerk to the board, and then the board starts discussion. Is that just courtesy for the town board? Because it seems like you don't have to do that.
I think that's always been the practice, is how the board has done it. I think if I had a better answer, I would give it to you, but I think it's just town practices. This is how they've done it, is the board has voted in September to accept the tentative budget.
Okay, but that's not necessarily the legal requirement.
Correct.
Okay. Then the other comment that I had was, there was this discussion earlier about the real property taxes and how it was showing up the 6,000, 6,500. From what I saw, looking at last year's budget, that same issue came up. It's the exact same number. It was 171,000 in the preliminary budget. And then it ended up being what it is now. So I'm assuming you dealt with that last year. I don't know what the answer was, but it seems like it's the same issue. And that's all I have. You answered my question about no, I'll ask you just to be clear. The increase, right now, the 36% increase is not solely for the ambulance. There's some other stuff in there.
There's some other, right. I'm
Okay.
not blaming that.
Okay, okay, so if you remove that part, I mean, I think it was pretty clear from the two sessions that we had, the town residents were giving we knew what the increase would be that they would have to be paying for the ambulance, and it all seemed to support it.
Yeah.
So if you get the other piece out, I mean, that number may be ugly, but it certainly sounded like.
We can't add $270,000 to the budget and not have some sort of.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah, it's, and every, like you said, that's the price to pay to have ambulance service.
Yeah, okay, I agree. Thank you very much, appreciate your time.
Thank you, Greg. Move, please. We had that.
Hate to be a horse to death, but last year we were at the same thing. And I do remember requesting an actual line for line by line, like you're gonna do this week. You know, I don't know how you can do a budget without actually knowing what you expended on each expenditure. I think you're gonna be very surprised if any of these figures that I happen to have from the accountant are correct. I think you're gonna be very surprised about the actual versus what you got down there. I think they're gonna be a lot lower from what, if these figures are anything accurate.
Right.
I think they're gonna be lower.
To Dave's point.
And although these figures are probably only up to what, August,
September, yeah.
maybe September?
Yeah.
But I think, just from, I've been trying to go through it line by line as you guys were going today. And to me, it seems like it's gonna be a lot lower.
Lower
So-
expenditures?
Yeah, the actuals.
Lower expenditures or
Yeah,
lower
yeah,
income?
yeah,
Expenditures.
expenditures.
Right.
Yeah. And,
I hope so.
so that sounds like a plus. And as far as the deal with the ambulance goes, if the figures I got in our surplus account, it's really extremely high. You could take that out of the surplus with a blink of an eye. I mean, I'll throw out the figure, I got over $2 million. $2,888,000 to be exact. So, and that's taxpayer money.
That's already, that's
Exactly.
people
But
who
Lou,
pay
where-
tax.
Where do you get that number from? If you don't mind me
Yeah, I'll take the fifth on that.
asking? I don't think that number is anywhere accurate.
Well, it's
But we
supposed to
don't
be
know.
accurate. Oh,
We don't know. right?
okay, all right, well, that's
I
it.
hope you're right.
I hope so too.
Pat, please.
So try to slow down this hot panic about this 30 or 36% you got as a
Yeah,
number.
that's my.
But that's the mill rate change just for the general budget item. That doesn't include the fire department. I don't know what that
Yeah,
is.
it does.
But no, it doesn't. Doesn't include DJ. What it includes is on that general is that 6,700 number, Dave, where we're looking at. That's to operate the town general stuff. If that's 30% or what you came up with, then my tax bill goes up from 23 to $30 or something like that, 23 to $30. I'm not gonna be too worried about that part of it. But did your budget go up for fire department or
Yeah.
planning it to? How much?
Yeah, 2%.
2%. DJ,
$8,800 overall, whole thing.
so hardly anything.
Hardly any.
Right, so water department, I don't know what that is.
I think with them.
Little bit? Okay, a little bit. It's not 30%. It's this 30% over the 6,700. So I think the problem's gonna run into though, Tom, Mr. Russell, sorry, when you see this is that that influx of that $350,000 last year kind of threw this kind of budgeting process off. So I think that you got that working against you and then the ambulance on top of that too. So I can't say it's 30%, but it's just, I think it helps everybody if you clear out like the 4 line items. Cause I went through that 25 budget this last year. I spent days looking at it. And those are the numbers, same numbers I came up with were those from my recollection, only Dave, Mr. Ross, sorry. So I think if we kind of, in a mentality kind of standpoint, like segregate those different departments, these numbers will make a little bit more sense. I just don't want people running around with a 33 or 36% number. I mean, that's insane. And I totally agree, Mr. Haas, that's crazy, but I don't think it'll be that. But we'll have to see where all this stuff shakes out. Does that make sense?
Thank you very much.
Dave, are you good? Mr. Haas, are you all right with that? I mean, does that make sense? We talked about it quickly.
Yeah, we'll run the numbers
Yeah.
and see what comes out.
But that's how it came down to that 6,700 number was that influx of all that money to offset everything else that happened.
Thank you, Pat. Anyone else?
I just want to make a quick comment,
Please, and thank
and I
you.
don't need to get up. I just want to say, I think that you are doing a great job. Having been in HR and running a payroll team, I don't know how you're doing it, and I hope that they all give you the grace that you deserve, because it is really, really hard. QuickBooks is no one's friend. So I apologize that you have to use that archaic system, but it's going to take a long time for you to get caught up. And so I'm just asking for everyone to give her a little bit of grace.
I inherited
A mess.
a snake pit
It sounds like it. So,
with zero accountability for
and
the
it
snake pit.
doesn't sound like a whole lot of direction.
No.
Okay. Okay, anyone else comment? Do I have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'm
I
sorry,
know it's
Eric.
there.
Okay, Frank, Eric, thank you. All those in favor of adjournment?
Aye.
Those opposed? Councilor Marquez, thank you very much. Hey,
I'm here. I don't know where they are.
Those for sale at 66. $4 done.
You need Brian pan.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.